people who aren't here.
Ooh.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to the level water session for Watersedge. We're going to run through sort of some key logistics for the event that you guys are all taking part in at the end of September. Some things to think about, little things that we've learnt this year from doing 24s already and last year, and a few little fundraising tips if we've got time, and yeah, volunteers and some accessibility points there. Mark's going to run through a lot of the swim briefing and talk you guys through that. And Jerry and I are on here. If you've got any questions, anyone who's online, we're trialing out the webinar version for Zoom. So that's probably why you can't see your cameras. If you've got a question, just pop something into the comments and Jerry and I will come back to you. And if quite a few people are asking the same thing, we'll feed it back to Mark so he can sort of, chat about it with everyone else who's in person at Watersedge. Just like to run through our team. So we're all going to be at Watersedge, which is exciting. My name is Colette. You've probably had a few emails from me. I am fundraising manager. So I look after you wonderful people who are all raising money for our fabulous cause by email and chatting to you and being in person, working at the events. I've been at Level Water now, I think maybe 8 years. So when I joined, it was just Ian and I, who's our CEO. And now, the team's grown amazingly. We've got a sensational amount of events that we run, as well as third-party events that we have tickets in and have swimmers raising money for us. I'll pass over to Jerry, who's going to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Jerry. I am kind of everyone's assistant, really. So, I look after ticket sales and a lot of the kind of administrative things in the back end. And I know quite a lot about these events. I've seen quite a few of them run. So, if you do have questions about, how things work, then you can always pop me an email. That's jerry@levelwater.org. And this is my second summer of Level Water events.
Yay. Thanks, Jerry. Over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Claire. And we've got a room full of people here as well for everyone online. We're actually at Watersedge today. I thought it'd be quite fun to do this event, this live Q&A from the site, and it's looking really good with the field in the ditch, which was probably the most exciting thing, and the new buildings going in place. So it's going to be really quite special here come the end of September. It's our last event of the year, which is really exciting. We run this will be our 11th or 10th event of the year, and we've got 4 in a row leading up until this event as well, including Dart 10K, which is our biggest event of the year, and another two big river swims and 2 24s, and then we come here to see the season out. It's also my last ever event with Level Water. I've been here nearly 6 years, and I'm moving on to pastures new, so it's going to be quite an emotional one for me as well. So I'm glad you can all be here and give me the hugs throughout the weekend. Right, basically what I'm going to run through with you all is the swimmer briefing. It's the briefing I'm going to send out. I think it's on the Swimmer Hub as well, but it's really useful we've found it really useful this year to go through it and hear a voice and give you a chance to ask some questions, because as much as I write stuff down, it's much easier to hear it. With anyone who's in the room, probably best to try and save the questions till the end. We'll see how it goes, and we could do it after each bit if you've got a quick question about that specific bit. So but yeah, it should all be good. We'll run through the agenda. We'll talk about various things around weather, all sorts of stuff. So let me just get the briefing up. So, right. It's the first time we've run the event here, which is really exciting. Emily, you contacted me, didn't you, last year, and said, this looks really exciting, let's do it. So it's going to be our second biggest event of the year in terms of our 24 hours as well. We've got about 250 people. How many teams is that? I think that's about 60 teams, which is a really lovely number. We always say 250 is the perfect size, because at Shepperton we have 500, 100 teams, and to get 100 people in and out of the water every hour is just very So yeah, having 60 people, it's much more manageable. So it's really nice. Really excited to do it here. And because it's the first one, we've been here today doing a bit of a recce, so we've got a really good idea now of how it's all going to be set up and everything. So I'll talk through that a little bit. I'll start with the timings. We're going to open the site at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. No one can come down on the Friday night. We just can't manage that, I'm afraid. So the site will be open from 8 and the swim will start at midday. When you arrive, the field next door will actually be the way in. So we're going to use the farmer next door has allowed us to use the field next door for parking, which you can probably get about 10,000 cars in. It's such a big field, but What we always try and say for people is please try and car share as much as possible, just to try and save our little imprint on the planet that we're making this weekend. So yeah, all cars will go in there. We're going to put a little gap in the fence so you can walk through. And then when you come in, the camping is, for people in the room, you can't quite see it, but we're going to start filling up from like right at the other end of where the huts are, on this side of the lake, and then fill up this way. So as you come in, you'll start camping at that end, and then it'll fill up this way. And we'll try and keep everyone as sort of tight as possible to make sure everyone's got enough, so we can get everyone in, because it's hard to visualize 250 people in a space. But this is more space than we have for Shepperton, I think, where we've got 500 people, so that's really nice. So yeah, we'll start filling up from that way. Up this end, this camping area is going to be for accessible camping, and our VIPs, which we are on the presence of, the people who are doing the 24 hours solo, which we've got over here. The gasps in the room. So yeah, all that will be up this end, and then we'll obviously have the in and out will be where you would imagine the in and out ramp, which is the nice new ramp you've put in, and our registration will be in the morning. So when you arrive, make sure you come and register. You don't all need to register at the same time, because not everyone's swimming at the same time, just the first swimmer. Come and register. We'll have our medics in there. Our water safety crew will be here ready for you, so you can meet them. We'll do a briefing at about 2:45, sort of 22, 2:45, where the first swimmers will need to be ready, and then we'll set you all off at midday, and we'll keep you going. So yeah, with other things, I'll talk about the site. Finish talking about the site. We're going to have a load of portaloos here on the day, so accessible portaloos and normal portaloos. We've obviously also got the toilet in here that we can use, and there's a shower in here that people can use, but no other site has showers, so you're and that also much indoor space. It's amazing. The big stretch tent that they've got here is going to be walled and heated. So what we normally have at all of our events, we'll have a heating tent, basically, where we've got heaters in, but we're going to use that big one. So there's going to be a lot of warm space for people, and we'll talk about the cold in a minute. The new building will hopefully be ready as well. So if the new building's ready, that will also be heated, and that's where registration will be. What else about the site? I think that's probably only the saunas are going to be running. We're going to discuss with Emily and Sophie about how we run that throughout the weekend, because obviously it's a lot of wood to run 2 saunas for 24 hours. But what we'll probably do is have it running overnight and have a booking system, which you'll just need to pay a small amount for. But we'll send out what that is. But it's, again, such a treat to have some saunas. And we'll also have all the fire pits going as well. So there's going to be lots and lots of warmth for you all throughout the weekend. So once you're here, set up, please try and keep your kit to a minimum, as small as you can, as small as you feel comfortable with. We think we've got enough space for everyone, but the less we can bring, the better. We'll be quite strict on the day if you're just putting up too much stuff. Basically, Shepperton 2 years ago, someone had a 12-man tent for a team of 4, a 3x3 meter gazebo, a drying room, and they wanted more space outside for mats. And I was like, and they didn't want to take it down, but they did in the end. So, and a jigsaw puzzle table that was this big. So please don't bring jigsaw puzzle tables. You can't write this stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of the 10th thing. With camping, you can no open fires. We're going to have fires here, but obviously gas stoves and things are absolutely fine. Just make sure you don't put them in the tent. And that's very obvious, but we've also had to tell people not to do that. So yeah, and then with camper vans, if anyone's bringing a camper van, what we're going to do, we're going to send out a link just so we know numbers. You don't need to book a camper van, but we just want to get a rough idea of how many people are coming. All the camper vans are going to be in a car park. So put camper vans in the car park. They can't be near the tents, and cars will be in the main parking field. I think somebody mentioned a caravan. I think a caravan will be fine. There should be enough space for it, but maybe we'll put the caravans in the parking field just so they can have a bit more, because they're a little bit bigger. Yeah, don't cook inside your tent. With food, please bring your own. Please bring your own food and drink. There's potential we might have a refreshment stand, but first year at Shepperton, not Shepperton, where was it? Clevedon, we had a stand and they ran out and no one bought their own stuff, and then they were angry. So please bring your own food and drink for the weekend. And then, yeah, if we do have a catering van, if they run out, you've got your own food and drink and refreshments. So we will have hot water on site. So we have a series of urns that most people will use to fill up hot water bottles. We'll probably have them in the main building if it's ready. We'll have a load of urns. So if you need hot water for tea and coffee and hot noodles, hot water bowls, whatever else you need, that will be available for you in there. So yeah, I think that's it with the camping stuff. We don't let spectators can come and look throughout the day and watch throughout the day, but we basically just have a no sunset to sunrise rule with no spectators on site, because there's just too many people for us to manage and keep an eye on, and the toilets will get too full. So we just have to say quite strict, yeah, no family, no supporters overnight. Any questions so far from the room? I know I've got a few coming in online, but has anyone got any questions on arriving, parking, camping, registration? I'll talk a bit more about the registration and swimming next.
Can I just ask?
Yes.
I know you've mentioned water and hot water,
yes,
and everything, which is fine, which is lovely. What about the taps on site? Are they drinking water or not? Yeah.
Yep.
All of the taps are drinking. Okay,
yep. So yeah, lots of drinking. I just saw that one ping in on the questions as well. Yeah, drinking water all on site. Anything else? We've got cold water containers. We like the jerry cans we put up around the place. So we'll have them dotted around as well. We'll make it clear where they are on the day. Cool. I'll come back to the questions online at the end, maybe, just because there's going to be a lot coming through. Right, so swimming, that's what we're here to do. When you arrive, come and register. It doesn't have to be the captain, don't be anyone, but the first person for each team who registers, we give your team one wristband. It's a bright pink wristband, and whoever's in the water will be wearing that wristband. When you come out of the water, you swap it with the next person, and so the next team member does not get in until they've got their wristband on. Yeah, that's so we know who's in and out of the water at all times, and it's give you responsibility for making sure no one gets in without it. So, sorry, Rachel's saying she can't hear. I'll talk a bit louder. So how it'll work is we'll do the briefing at 12, and then everyone will do it right in by the entrance and exit. Everyone will come together at midday. All the people who go first will have their wristband on, and then they'll swim. I'll talk about the lake in a second. When you're swimming, you'll swim as many laps as you can within the hour. At 10:02 at each hour, a kayaker, water safety crew will stop you starting a new lap, because if people are on the other side of the lap when there's an hour gone in the middle of the night, it just takes too long to get people out. So at 10:02, everyone will come out. You'll slowly come out one by one, and then this is the bit that always confuses me to say, the last person of the last stint who will turn the first buoy will then let the next group in. Does that make sense? So when the last person has turned the first buoy, we'll leave a big enough gap, and then the next group of people will get into the water. Does that make sense? Good, because it always confuses me when I say that. Thank you very much. So basically at 10:02 of each hour, you'll get out. On the way into the lake, we'll put a marquee up, and there's two sides to it, an in and an outside. So as you're coming out, you'll take your wristband off, you'll tick your name off a team sheet, so your team name off a team sheet, and then you'll find the next person in your team, give them the band. They would have already checked in with somebody else, and then they can go as soon as we're ready to go. Does that make sense? It's just so it's the reason we do it with the wristbands and the timing. It's just basically like a double check, so we know exactly who's in the water, because then the volunteers will check the team sheets, make sure that anyone who's come out somebody's gone in, and the other way around. And if they haven't, we know we've got someone missing or somebody hasn't turned up, whatever it is. So yeah, it's really nice. It's a really simple way to do it. When you're in the water, the loop is going to be a 400-meter loop, as close as we can get. We'll measure it and make sure we can do it as best we can. And we'll probably go clockwise. I think I tried to turn it just to mess with you all if you all swim here already, but we'll probably go clockwise on the day, which will be fun. We've got water safety crew. Anti-clockwise. We'll go anti-clockwise. We'll stick with anti-clockwise. Sorry. Yeah. The blankness in the room. Yes, we'll stick with anti-clockwise. I was thought about going clockwise, but no, we'll stick to the anti-clockwise one. I think that'll be fine. We've got a water safety crew, so we'll have 4 or 5 kayaks on the water at all times. The reason we don't do the big loop is it's going to be cold. It's big and dark at night, and it's just difficult for the safety crew to figure out where everyone is all the times. So we'll swim, and then at night time there'll be a cut-off point where the water safety crew and the medical team will want you all to wear lights and tow floats. So it will probably be between 7 o'clock in the evening till 7 in the morning or something. You then have to wear a tow float, and you have to have 2 lights on you at all times while you're swimming. They both have to be static lights and not flashing. And the front one, so the one you have on your goggles or hat or wherever, has to be white. And the other one can be any other color, as long as it's not white, but it has to be static. The reason we do that is so the water safety crew, in the middle of the night, if you're disappearing off into the darkness, they know which way you're swimming. So the white light they know will be the front of you, and it's easier for them to understand what's happening. The reason they're static is because the big triangular buoys, we put, this is the best way we figure it out, some flashing hula hoops onto them. So you'll follow the flashing lights at night to see where you need to go. When we did Shepperton in the first year, everyone's light was flashing all over them, and it was absolute chaos. So we learned very quickly on that one that all the lights need to be static. Obviously, not every single team member needs lights, because you can share. You just need 2 sets per team. Not everybody needs to have them. We will have them on the day to sell you if you don't have any, or they're broken, or whatever that is. Yeah, Jerry's sharing on that for people online. She's sharing links to and we'll send it all to you guys as well. There's links to the best ones we've found that you can buy. They've got little carabiners on that you can just hook on to everything. Really useful. And then you'll just keep swimming. I think what the main thing for us to sort of explain to a lot of people is this is quite late in the year for us. We've never done an event this late. We talked a lot about it to see whether we should, and we thought that we should, because we'd like to see if it gets too cold. The main reason is we did this at Lake 32 last year, the weekend before, so the 21st of September last year. And a lot of people who swim in skins struggled to do the whole hour. Normally the second hour they do, because what we realised is people who swim skins are used to getting in the water, swimming for a few hours, getting out, then getting immediately warm in a car or warm in a house or wherever. Whereas with here, obviously, you're swimming in skins, you're getting out cold, you're sitting by a lake, potentially in cold, and then you're having to put a cold costume back on and get back in. So we would recommend anybody who's swimming skins to bring a wetsuit, just in case. I know it might not be a nice thing to do, but it might mean you actually get to do it rather than getting too cold. We had a lot of people getting out before the hour last year, and it causes quite a lot of chaos with us and timings and volunteers and things. So bring a wetsuit. Just in case. Hopefully it's not going to be too cold. We're expecting the water temperature to be around 15, 16, which is chilly, but doable.
So can we just wear swim costumes?
Yeah, with the swimming costume.
Just normal swimming costume.
Yeah. When we say skins, we don't mean naked. Yeah. So skins is just without a wetsuit. Yeah, same thing. So skins just means without a wetsuit.
Or any. Okay.
Yeah. So swimming costume, whatever it is. What we'll do is we'll send out a link. So we just have you to say, you basically just has to tick a box saying you're happy to swim in skins. So it's your choice. So we're not responsible for you. No, we will be. Yeah. So and that's kind of it with the swimming bit. Is there any questions on that? Yes.
First question. If somebody can't swim the 400 meters, can they just do either small or stay around the shore?
No, because the way we set it up with the water safety crew, we can't have people going all over the place. It's too difficult for them to manage, especially at night.
Yeah.
So they will have to do the 400-meter loop.
Even they'd be happy to just sit in the water for an hour while the other transfers still know.
I mean, if they want to, maybe, but they don't.
From my team members, that's why.
Okay. I mean, ideally, no. Just because it's a swimming event, so they don't have to swim. They can do 1 lap in an hour. There's no rush. There's no race. I think that's the main thing about the swim here that I should say is like nothing's timed other than you've got 50 minutes to an hour to swim. It's not a race. You don't get points for winning. There's no winners or losers. You just swim as best you can. It's all about the endurance rather than time. So if you want to swim 10 laps in an hour, swim 10 laps. If you want to swim one, swim one. It's totally up to you.
Second question is about this time, the 1 hour being in the water. What about if somebody gets really, really cold and has to get out in half an hour?
They have to get out. Yeah, we're not going to keep people in.
Yes. Is that okay? Sort of, can they start with this set of mind that actually it's okay just to be half an hour in the water, and then another team will come, member will come and just replace them for the half an hour?
No, so what we don't want to encourage it because it's difficult for us to manage people coming in and out all the time. It's a lot. It's 24 hours of us sitting by a lake. It's difficult. It's really hard. So I don't want to encourage it and say that shouldn't be the mindset going in. However, we're not going to force people to stay in. If people need to get out, we will manage it, but we won't let somebody else get in until the next hour.
So the team actually will miss, let's say, the half an hour, for example.
Yeah, because it's for the water safety crew. It's just checking people in and out. We'd rather wait and let the person just get in. So you just have a gap where nobody's swimming.
Kind of another stage, yeah. So, but then the team won't finish the 24 hours. Right. Okay.
I'd rather you were safe and dry and warm, and the water safety crew were happy and everyone was happy, rather than, that it doesn't matter if you haven't got someone in for a few minutes. You're still going to succeed. You know what I mean? It's still a challenge. So.
Are the lights going to be on the lake, or is it literally we follow the hula hoops?
Yeah, so just lights on the boys. Yeah. So you'll have, I think we have 3 boys, one at the first corner, one at the second, one at the third corner, and they'll be really well lit up. We won't have any other lights on the lake other than everyone's lights on them. Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. Yeah. The kayakers will have lights on as well. They have vests, like flashy vests. So I think they're blue. Terry might be able to confirm that. So they're a slightly different colour as well.
I have 2 questions. So if we share a wristband, we don't need to our sports guardian band for 24 hours.
No, is that your timing ones?
Yeah, I don't think.
No.
We don't.
We don't need you to. No.
We don't value. And also for the form for filling in, if we wear skin.
Mark, could you repeat the questions when they're asked, because we're struggling to hear them online?
Of course. So that's I'll emphasize that one. So if you swim at Watersedge, you have to wear a sports guardian band, which is a safety measure. You don't need to wear that for this one because we've got our own measures in place.
And also for the form to fill in skins, can we do that last minute? Because obviously a lot will be like depending how cold we are, weather and that. Whether we do or not, we can do that last minute. Yeah,
absolutely. So with the skins form, if you want to swim in skins, just fill it in just in case. That's my recommendation. Just do it and then you're covered. You can do it on the day. You can do it an hour before. It doesn't matter. We will check that you've done it before you get in, but you can do it whenever you like. Yeah. Any more questions on the swimming in particular?
If someone has asthma or similar and they need inhalers, is there going to be a place where they can be left so that when you're getting out, when you have a problem, you can get back in there?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure there's somewhere. So when they get in, the medic's brilliant. He's done all our events for the last 2 years, so he knows his event really well. Just make yourself aware to him if you've got any conditions, anything medical that you need him to be aware of. So that was a question for people with inhalers or anything they need on the edge of the lake. Make yourself aware to them and we'll make sure there's a space there for them. Absolutely. You will get a swimming hat from us when you register. You'll register, you'll get yourself a swimming hat and a wristband, and you'll need to wear that for the hour. Everyone gets one. They're really nice hats as well. Jerry did loads of work trying to find the best ones, are nice and big, nice and thick, and they're bright pink. They're hot pink. That's our colour. There you go. It's just 24 hours, and then you can just get rid of it, give it to somebody else. Cool. So with the cold, obviously, just make sure you're checking in on each other as regularly as you can. Make sure we bring in lots of layers. And I think the thing I always try and say is just don't be a hero. If you're cold, get out. If you're cold and struggling, tell somebody. We're going to have all the fire pits going. We're going to have heated rooms. We've got hot water around. So just, we're all here together to support each other. We can't check on everyone all the time. So if you see someone else who might be struggling, just let us know, let them know, and wrap them up and keep them nice and warm. We've also got a few people, I don't know if anyone here is doing, they're doing a mile an hour challenge. So we've got a few people, I don't know how Jerry will be able to confirm just how many people that is, who are going to be doing they're going to swim a mile every hour, rather than for as long as they can. I don't know if they'll do it for 24 hours. So that's quite nice. That's quite new. That's a new thing for this year that we're testing out to see if it works, if it can work alongside it, in the hope that next year we'll be able to do a few more. So yeah, that'll be quite exciting as well, just to see how many people are doing that.
And you have to register for that?
Yeah, you can register that beforehand. So if you know anyone who wants to come along and not do a full 24 hours, but just do as many hours as they can, that could be quite fun. And then finally, if sorry, the sun's, I'm going to have to move because I can't see my screen. There we go. With the weather, if it gets too, in terms of cancellations, the only things we really cancel on is if it's unbelievably high winds, lightning, or sub-zero temperatures. You know, rain doesn't really affect it that much because it's quite sheltered. You just stay warm. But it's quite a nice sheltered lake here, so I don't expect the winds are going to be too much of a problem either. And we had to cancel Clevedon because you camp on concrete, and it was like 35 mile per hour winds, and there's no way to pin your tents down. So that was quite funny. So yeah, and with lightning, what we do is we'll keep a track of it all weekend, and then chances are we'll just put it on hold for half an hour, however long it. That's what we did for the pilot event actually. We just stopped for half an hour until it passed and then carried on. And then we just added a half an hour on to the end. So, and I think that's kind of it from us. I don't think there's much else you need to know right now. Is there anything I've missed, Jerry and Colette, that we need to add in? Colette's going to talk about that in a second. Yeah.
Don't think so. You've managed to, we've answered the questions in the comments, and they've sort of been coming through online. Someone has just asked, if swimming the 24 hours alone, can we keep one supporter with us overnight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 24-hour, if they're doing it alone, could definitely need somebody there if they can overnight. I think
just to add to that, if you're swimming in a team of 2, you can also camp in that accessible area, because you'll need to be able to get to and from your tent a bit more quickly.
Yeah, perfect. Anything else in this room that needs to be asked? Any burning questions? Everyone excited? Yeah, good. It's going to be great.
Oh, sorry, I think my sister, she has asked already. She is going to be going on and off site. Is that still okay? She's feeding a baby.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one.
But yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to. So the question was, can you leave the site? You don't. You're not trapped here. You can leave and go as many times as you like. It's like some people, teams of 8 will have 7 hours before they swim again. You know, we've got a pub down the road in the book, so we're going to go when we have breaks and sleep and stuff. So no, whoever booked the cabin, someone here's got cabin. I think that would have been a nice thing to have. Hang on, what is that?
Changing a team name. We've had a team member drop out. If we find somebody else, can we just change the name, or do they need to re-register?
We can probably change it on the day. I think, is that going to be easier, Jerry, for you, or do you want to know about it beforehand? You're on mute again.
Yeah, we just need people to register again, so we've got all their emergency contact, but I can switch you over for no fee, basically. But yeah, if you email me, jerry@levelwater.org, then I can sort that out for you.
The best story we had was at Clevedon the second year we did it there. This guy walked past and was just like, oh, what's going on? He had no idea what's going on. He just came down for a swim, and it was his birthday, and he ended up staying. The team who were registering were like, oh, we need one more person. And he just registered and stayed there the whole weekend. Didn't even go home and get stuff. He just stayed, and then we all sung happy birthday for him at the end. So it was really sweet. I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, somebody throughout the challenge dropped down.
Yeah.
Can just the others in the team substitute the
Yeah.
Do you need to know about it?
Or? No. With yeah. So the question was around if someone during the day wanted to drop out. How does that work? You can ask me to swim. I'm going to come and try and do some swimming as well. This is my last one, and I've never taken part in my own event. But yeah, yeah. However you want to run your teams is fine. You don't need to stay in any kind of order. You don't need to do anything, like whatever works for you. We're pretty loose on rules, other than that getting in and out and in the water. However else you guys want to run it, it's totally up to you. It's your festival, it's your party. Like, do it however you like, what works, and we just want to create a really safe, fun space for you guys to have a really good time. Got 48 teams at the moment. That was a question that just asked. So yeah, we might get a couple more beforehand, and hopefully get a few more beforehand and get to 50, which will be pretty special. Cool. Thank you so much. Colette, do you want to do some fundraising spiel before we leave?
I would love to. I'll be brief. I don't know how it's going to transfer over to the room. Just to let you all know that you've raised an incredible £18,000 at the moment. So that's 1,200 lessons that you've already sort of, provided that we did not have before you all started fundraising, which is just phenomenal. We ask you to set a target of £200 essentially. So it's £15 per lesson. So if you just asked 13 people and they all donated £15, you've reached your target and you've provided like an incredible amount of lessons for Level Water. Some people do split the target. So if you're in a team and you've got people who don't like fundraising online or are a little bit nervous about it, put it all on the team and work together and set your team target to figure out how many people you're fundraising with. That is absolutely fine as well. Definitely share the load because you're probably going to be asking similar people. So it's worth just, sort of coming together with those asks. We've also found this year WhatsApp is like a massive medium for putting those asks out there, and it's really successful. So if you can do, I'm still teaching myself on this one though, like the WhatsApp broadcast. So it's a personal message. You can send it to loads of people, but it comes through individually. That seems to work really well. And put your Just Giving or your fundraising page link on there as well, so people can access it quite easily. It's just phenomenal. I did have a little story. I don't know how it's going to come across, but I'll go for it anyway and tell you guys. It's about, so when Level Water first began, we set up in Putney, and that was like the very first pool we've worked at, and it's still running now. And our CEO Ian went along there, and he went to meet one of our swimmers called Joshua. Joshua uses a powered wheelchair. He's got limited movement in one arm and one leg. His mum couldn't find anyone who would teach him to swim. And the first day Ian met them, Joshua was quiet, quite nervous and a bit shy. He went down to the water with his swim teacher, was laid on his back. Swim teacher supported his head and just asked if he could kick with his right leg. So he moved it up and down a little bit. Then they asked if he could pull with his left arm and he could scoop out the water a little bit. Then his swim teacher started moving away with him. She stopped holding his head. Joshua kept swimming. He was still breathing, had his nose out of the water, but he was sinking. Then his nose went under. His teacher was still looking closely at him, but she didn't touch him. He kicked harder and he came back up to the surface and he kept going. After that lesson, Ian asked the teacher what she saw when he was under the water, and she said one word: determination. So your fundraising is a numerical value, but to parents like Joshua's mum and to children like Joshua, it is invaluable. So thank you. Thank you on behalf of all the parents and children for your incredible fundraising. And we're looking forward to meeting you. I think that's it from me.
Thanks, Claire. And we've got loads more stories like that we can share. And the videos on our website are really powerful to sort of really showcase the importance of what you're doing for us and the difference that it makes. And it's nice that you can swim knowing that that's what you're helping to do, to get kids to swim. It's a really wonderful message. So yeah, if there's anything more you need, anything from us around sort of fundraising and stories, just let Colette know. She'll get that out to you. Yeah. Any questions on fundraising? No? No. With what we'll find is like the fact that we're 18,000 now is incredible. Most of the money will come in the week before and the weekend of. This is a very unique event where you've got a lot of free time. So what we say to people is like throughout the weekend is when you'll get most of your fundraising, because you're doing it. You've got videos, you can share what's happening in real time. Most of our events, we get about 65-70% of fundraising in the week leading up to it. So the fact that we're 18,000 already is quite exciting. So thank you all so much. And we'll see you in a few weeks. Exactly 1 month tomorrow, in fact. All good. Any more questions online that you want to run through, Claire?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it. And if not, we've... Oh, yay. Thanks, Faye. Yeah, I think it's good. If anyone's got a question you want answered, could you pop it in the comments and we'll come to it. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to log off and we'll keep in contact and see you at the end of September.
I'm going to put a little note in the captain's WhatsApp group with our volunteer sign-up form. So we do have volunteers just doing a few hour shifts at a time. If you help us out, then we'll get you a free gift, a beanie or a thermos that says Level Water on it. And we are really looking for like a couple of people maybe just to come in a little bit early and give us a little bit of a hand in the campsite or the car park. So if you're coming, or you've got a spectator coming that might have a bit of free time, just have a look at those job roles and see if you might feel like helping us out for a few hours, because we'd really appreciate your support.
Yeah. Sometimes spectators
Yeah.
more along and want to do something. So yeah, if you know anyone's coming, it's normally for the changeover. It can be quite chaotic. So if there's anyone, yeah, you might just try and grab. If you know anyone who wants to come and help us out, please throw them our way.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're swimming as well, you can still come and just volunteer for a few hours. Like Mark said, it's a really unique type of event because you know, you do actually have a lot of downtime and a lot of time to kind of hang out. And if you want to come and meet us and join the team, we will give you a lovely bright pink high vis to put on as well. So I'll just pop it in the chat and then I'll put it in the captain's WhatsApp group for you as well.
And also, like a lot of the times at these events, it turns into, we had a karaoke session at Clevedon a couple of years ago on the main speaker. We have guitars, people do yoga sessions. So just come and do stuff, get people involved. It's quite a nice space to just, we'll do some of the bungee yoga stuff that Sophie was telling me about, if that's ready. So yeah, just let us know if you've got any questions, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.